everyone, welcome to your power yoga class this morning. We're just about ready to start. Before we do, if anyone has any injuries or anything I need to know, if you could just type it in the little chat so I'm aware of it. Otherwise, all you need is a mat. If you don't have a mat, you can just use a towel. I have a block and a strap. If you don't have those, don't worry. You can use anything from around the house, or you can do the class without anything. So yeah, let's just wait a couple more minutes and then we will get started. If you would like music, I won't be playing any because it interferes with the sound, but you can see there's a link to a playlist at the side of your screen. All right, we're going to get started. So today we are going to start in a child's pose. Big toes touching, knees nice and wide, and bring your forehead down towards the mat. And we'll just take a few moments here to really ground down into the mat. So bring your awareness along the parts of your body that are connected with the mat. And gently start to deepen your breath here. Noticing where there's expansion in your body through your chest, your stomach, maybe feeling your stomach expand on your thighs. And then seeing if you can breathe so deep that you breathe into the back of the lungs, the back of the ribcage, feeling some expansion along the back side of your body. And those of you that are a little newer to the practice, we use a breath called Ujjayi breath in yoga. And that is an audible inhalation and exhalation through the nose. And you want to use this breath throughout the whole class, not only to focus your mind, but also to help you when the postures, the poses that we take become a little bit more challenging. See if you can make your breath a little bit louder. On your next inhale, come up to all fours, tabletop. So your hands are below your shoulders and your knees are hip width apart. And we'll take a few rounds of cat and cow from here. So inhale, drop your stomach, arch your back, bring your gaze up. Exhale as you round the spine and bring the chin towards the chest. Inhale as you arch, find an opening through the chest. And exhale as you round. Keep moving like this to the speed of your own breath. And maybe close down your eyes here and add in any other sort of twist or turn or figure of eight movement. Just feeling your way into your body this morning. Maybe taking a moment to notice the quality of the energy around your body. Is there any tightness, any space? Bring yourself to stillness and reach your right arm up towards the ceiling, open through the chest. And then thread your arm through, coming down onto your shoulder, your cheek. Option to keep your left fingertips close to you or walk your left fingertips towards the top of your mat to deepen the stretch. Make your way back to tabletop, hands and knees. And we'll go on the other side. So reach the left arm up, open through the chest. Thread that arm through, coming down onto the shoulder, the cheek. And again, you can choose what you do with your right hand. Either reach it forwards or keep it close to you. Maybe walk your dog out by bending one knee at a time, pedaling out the feet. And bring your awareness to your hands as well. So root down with each fingertip, each knuckle pad, really pressing down with the hands. You can keep movement in your down dog here, or you can come to stillness. Whatever you're doing, make sure you're reaching your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Walk your feet to your hands. Take a ragdoll at the top of your mat. Grab opposite hand to opposite elbow and just let your head hang heavy. Maybe take a little bit of movement here, a bounce or a sway. Release your hands. Bring your feet together to touch. And on an inhale, slowly roll up to standing. Reach your arms up overhead, take a full body stretch, maybe look up. And bring your hands together at heart center and close down your eyes. And I invite you this morning to set an intention for your practice. And now whatever the first thought is that comes into your mind to be the intention that you take. Gently open your eyes. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. High plank. Pausing here. Bringing awareness to the space in between your shoulder blades. And think about pressing that space up towards the ceiling. Pull the tummy button in and up towards the spine. Breathe. Drop your knees, untuck your toes, come all the way down to the mat. Open your chest, baby cobra, press the tops of the feet down. Just use your back muscles here. Downward facing dog. Walk your feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Inhale, rise tall, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. High plank. Drop your knees, untuck your toes, keep your elbows close to you as you come all the way down. Open your chest, cobra. Downward facing dog. And each time we come back to our down dog, it's a chance to reset. So checking back in with your hands and your feet. Step your right foot forwards, followed by your left. Halfway lift. Fold. Rise up, reach tall. Maybe take a small back bend here if you're ready. Exhale, fold forwards. Halfway lift. High plank. Options to continue knees, chest, chin, or if you have full chaturanga in your practice, bend your elbows halfway down. Either another cobra or upward facing dog. If you're an up dog, knees are lifted off the mat. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards, followed by your right. Halfway lift. Fold. Inhale, rise up, reach tall. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high to low plank, dropping the knees if you want to. Up dog or cobra, open the chest. Downward facing dog. So from now on, each time you take a vinyasa, you can choose which variation you take. If you go for full chaturanga, make sure your knees are lifted throughout. Let's take an inhale together. Exhale it all out. Either walk or lightly jump forwards. Halfway lift. Chair pose. Bend your knees, reach tall. Press your weight right into the back of your heels. Sink your hips lower. Fold. halfway lift, high to low plank, either with or without your knees. Up dog or cobra on the inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forwards, warrior one, rise up. Just taking a moment in your warrior one. Press down equally with both feet and see if you can bend into the front knee a little bit more. Keep pressing down with the back edge of the back foot and keep the fingers sparked alive. One more inhale. Exhale, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards, warrior one. Again, taking your time with this warrior. Find your breath. And then see if you can focus your gaze to one spot in front of you. Try not to let your eyes move from that spot. High to low plank. Upward facing or cobra. Downward facing dog. Maybe noticing how this down dog feels now compared to at the start of class. Soften knees, gaze forwards. Either walk or let you float to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose, one breath, rise up. Bow forwards. Halfway lift. Low plank. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forwards, warrior one. Inhale as you rise up. Exhale, straight back down, high to low. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards, warrior one. One breath, one move. Exhale, high to low. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Let's take a couple of sighs here. So in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's do that once more. In through the nose. Soften knees, gaze forwards. Float to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. Fold forwards. Lift halfway. High to low plank. Dropping the knees at any point if you need to. Up dog or cobra, squeeze the armpits. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior one. Inhale, rise. Exhale, low plank. Up dog. Down dog. Left foot forwards, warrior one. Inhale, rise tall. Exhale through your vinyasa. One breath, one move. I'm really noticing what's happening with the breath in your down dog. If it's starting to speed up too much, what can you do to slow it back down? Know that child's pose is there at any point if you need a few moments to yourself. Bring your feet to touch behind you and lift your right leg up. Bend your knee and open up your hips. See how close you can bring your right heel to your seat bones. And then options to stay here or flip your dog. If you're flipping your dog, make sure both feet are facing the back of your mat and you're pressing the hips up towards the ceiling. Keep breathing wherever you are. Everyone, make your way back to a high plank, feet together to touch. Right hand down, left arm up, side plank. You can drop your lower knee here, or you can lift your top leg. Keep breathing. For another 3. For 2. For one, both hands to the mat. Either take a vinyasa or straight to your downward facing dog. Feet to touch. Staying on the right side, lift the right leg up again. Bring your knee to your nose. Kick it back. Bring your knee to your right elbow. Take it over to the left elbow. Back to the right. Over to the left. Back to right. Kick it back. Bring your knee to your nose. Crescent lunge. Keeping the back heel lifted this time, rise up. Take a moment to find your balance. If you feel a little bit wobbly here, maybe walk the right foot further towards the right. See if you can lift the back heel a little bit higher. Breathe. Bring your hands together at heart center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to your right, hooking the left elbow over the right thigh. Press the elbow and thigh together to spiral the chest open a little bit more. Bring your gaze down towards your front foot and moving as slowly as you can, step your back foot forward, twisted chair. Sink the hips a little bit lower. Bring your gaze back down to that right foot. Lift the left foot up. Step back to your twisted lunge. Take your time. Crescent lunge, come back to center. Warrior two, open out. Check the front knee doesn't knock in here. So you want to bend the front knee towards the baby toe. Flip the front palm and reverse. Extended side angle, forearm to your thigh, left arm up towards the ceiling. And you can choose if you stay like this, if you drop your right hand down towards the floor, if you take a half bind or full bind. Knowing that wherever you are, listen to your body and just stay with what feels right. Think about pressing your front foot down and forwards and your back foot down and back as if you're trying to rip your yoga mat into pieces. Release both hands to the mat. Either take a vinyasa or step straight to your downward facing dog. Maybe noticing a slightly different sensation in the sides of your body. Lift the left leg up. Bend the knee and open up the hips. And before you take it any further, make sure the shoulders are square to the front of the room. And then options to stay or moving slowly, and if you have space, flip your dog. Press both feet down if you're in your flip dog and open through the front side of your body. Everyone meet back in a high plank. Feet together to touch. Side plank, left hand down, right arm up. Again, choose if you drop that lower knee or lift the top leg. For another 3. Keep lifting the hips for 2. Last one, both hands to the mat, either a vinyasa or straight to your down. Lift your left leg up behind you. Bring your knee to your nose. Kick it back. Knee to left elbow. Take it over to the right elbow. Back to the left. Over to the right. Back to left, kick it back. Bring your knee to your nose. See if you can connect your knee and nose. Crescent lunge, rise up. Breathe. Again, if you're feeling wobbly, walk the left foot towards the left, widening your stance. Focus your gaze, calm your breath. Hands together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to your left. Again, finding the connection between the elbow and the thigh to open the chest a bit more. Think about reaching the crown of the head forwards. Gaze down towards the left foot. Moving as slowly as you can, step forward, twisted chair. Enjoy any wobbles or shakes that might be happening. Sink the hips. Look down to your left foot. Step the right foot back, twisted lunge. Come back to center, crescent lunge. Warrior two, keep the front knee bent if you can. Flip your front palm reverse. Extended side angle, forearm to your thigh, right arm up towards the ceiling. Try not to dump forward, so I'm pressing down equally with both feet. And you can choose to keep your forearm connected, drop down onto your hands, take a half bind, or take a full bind. This time with your feet, think about pressing your front foot down and backwards, and your back foot down and forward. So you're trying to squeeze the feet towards each other without actually moving them. Release hands to mat, either your vinyasa or straight to your downward facing dog. Soften knees, gaze forwards, lightly jump to your hands. Halfway lift, fold, chair pose. Now just make sure you've got a little bit of space behind you here. Because what we're going to do is lower our hips all the way onto the floor, take a rock and roll, and without touching the floor, come back to chair pose. Give it a go, see what happens. No one's watching. Once you've made it back to your chair pose, we're going to do the same thing, but this time without momentum. Lower your hips down towards the floor, moving slowly this time. Find your boat pose. Moving slowly again, place your feet back to the floor. Chair pose, try not to touch the floor. Keep breathing. Stay with your chair. Breathing into the heat, the tapas, the fire that might be building in your legs here. Fold forwards. Separate your feet and grab your big toes with your first two fingers. You can bend your knees as much as you need to here. Take a halfway lift. Fold over your legs. Let the crown of your head hang heavy towards the floor. And maybe use the connection between your fingers and toes to pull you down into the pose a little bit more. If the hamstrings do feel tight, you can keep a little bend in the knees. Release your toe. Separate your feet so they're mat width apart. Toes slightly pointing out. Drop your hips into a Malasana squat. Elbows to the insides of your knees, hands together at heart center. Lift the crown of your head. Keep your breath strong. Place your right hand down on the mat, left arm up. Opening the chest. Come back to center, hands together. Left hand down, right arm up. Open the chest. If you can, have your gaze up towards the right fingers. Come back to center, hands together. Options to stay here for a couple more breaths. If you have crow in your practice and would like to take crow pose, go ahead. If you don't know where you're going with your crow, place your hands flat on the mat. You're going to take a bend in the elbows as if we were taking a chaturanga. Lift the hips up. You want to press the weight right forward into your fingertips. Bend the elbows and then lean the knees just above the elbows, sort of mid-upper arm, and start to lean your weight forwards. You might just lift up one foot, you might lift up both feet. Give it a go. Whatever you're doing, you're breathing. For another 3. For 2. Last breath. If you're in your crow pose and want to try shoot back, you shoot your feet back, low plank. Otherwise, take a vinyasa or meet straight in downward facing dog. Either walk or float to your hands. And on an inhale, moving slowly, roll yourself up to standing. Tadasana, mountain pose. Arms alongside your body, palms facing forwards. If it's comfortable, close down your eyes. Bring awareness to your feet. And root the four corners of your feet down into the mat. Engage muscles in the legs. Allow the shoulder blades to sink down the spine. And lift the crown of the head. Notice where you're breathing in your body. Is it just in your chest, or are you breathing all the way down into your stomach? Allow each breath to clear the mind. Open up the eyes. Eagle pose. Right leg over left. Right arm under left. Take your time and focus your gaze to one spot in front of you to help you with your balance. Squeeze the thighs together and see if you can lift your elbows so they're up at shoulder height. Release the pose. Eagle on the left. Left leg over. Left arm under. Release the pose. Eagle on the right. Right leg over left. Right arm under left. And once you found your balance, see if you can fold forwards. Maybe bring your elbows all the way onto your knees. Keep breathing here. Start to slowly unravel your arms and legs, warrior three. Imagine kicking into a wall behind you with that right foot. Reach the fingertips back. Bring your hands together at heart center. If you have a block or even maybe a water bottle might work here, it might help a little bit. We're going to open out into a half moon. So left hand down, right arm up. Flex the right toes back towards you. And today we're going to bring our right hand to our right hip. And bring your gaze down towards your left foot. And we're going to lower the right foot so it hovers next to the left. Lift it back up. We're going to do that 2 more times. Lower the right foot to hover next to the left. Lift it back up. And again, lower it down. Lift it back up, pausing here. Maybe reach the right arm back up again. And release, both feet down, take a ragdoll, opposite hand to opposite elbow. Just let your head hang heavy. If you need to shake the legs out a little bit, do so. If you need to bend through the knees. Release the hands. On an inhale, rise up to standing. Eagle on the left, left leg over, left arm under. Find that spot to focus your gaze. When you feel secure, start to fold forwards into your baby eagle. Think about how small you can curve your spine. Bring your elbows all the way down towards the knees. Keep breathing. Moving slowly, start to unravel warrior three. Maybe bring your hands to your hips here and see if that left hip's trying to open out. Roll it back down, trying to keep the hips as level as possible. Hands together at heart center. Right hand down this time onto your block, the floor, maybe a water bottle. Open out to your half moon. The more you engage this lifted leg, the more secure you're going to feel. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Gaze down towards your right foot. Lower the left foot so it hovers next to the right. Lift it back up. And again, lower it back down. Lift it back up. Last one like this. Lower that foot down. Lift it back up, pausing in your half moon. Taking your gaze wherever feels good. Lift that left leg a little bit higher. And release both feet down. Take a forward fold. This time interlace your fingers at your sacrum and reach your fist towards the top of your mat. Let your head hang heavy. Maybe a gentle shake of the head, yes and no. Or maybe you just want to stay in stillness here. Release your hands. On an inhale, rise up to standing. Tree pose. Sole of the right foot to the inside of the calf or thigh. Start with your hands together at heart center. Really press the sole of the right foot into the inner thigh. And then maybe open up the arms. Maybe have the palms facing forwards, fingers spread wide. Bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. And maybe imagine yourself here running through the finish line of a race. In a victorious, strong, tall pose. Release, both feet down. Let's go on the left, sole of the left foot to the inside of the calf or thigh. Start with hands together. Find your balance. And then when you're ready, reach up. Open your arms. And maybe see what happens on this side if you close your eyes. And if you fall or wobble, see if you can come back into the pose with your eyes still closed. Try not to take it too seriously. I think we've all got enough seriousness in our lives at the moment. And release. Both feet down. If you need to shake out the hands, the feet a little bit, do so. Step to the top of your mat. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Pause in your high plank. Lift your right foot 2 inches off the floor. Breathe here. Keep pressing the hands down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs. Lift the left leg up. Again, think about that space in between the shoulder blades. Breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both feet down, pausing for last. You want lower down onto your mat. Bring one cheek down, arms alongside your body. And just take a couple of deep breaths. Maybe you need to sigh. Notice the quality of energy in your body right now. Bring your forehead down, interlace your fingers behind you, toes to touch. Lift up, locust pose. Lifting as much of your body up off the mat as you can. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, reach the hands back. Lift a little bit higher. And release, let go. Gently sway the hips from side to side. And we're going to go again. Interlace the fingers, forehead down, lift up. Gently release. Again, sway the hips. Take a sigh if you need one. This time we're going to interlace our fingers, but bend our knees as if we were setting up for floor bow, but we're not going to hold on to our feet. So soles of the feet facing up towards the ceiling. Think about pressing the pelvis down, squeeze the glutes, lift up. The knees might not lift up very much off the floor, and you might feel quite a strong sensation in the hamstrings. Breathe into it. And release, let go. Sway the legs, sway the feet, whatever you need. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. So your fingertips are just a little bit lower than your shoulders. And we're going to lift up into an upward facing dog. So press the hands down, open the chest, knees lifted off the floor. Breathe. Downward facing dog. Either step or lightly jump through to seated. Make your way to lying on your back. And we're going to take a bridge pose from here. Feet flat to the floor. Make sure you can just brush your heels with your fingertips. And then press down, lift up. Interlace the fingers underneath you and walk your shoulder blades further towards each other. Use your breath here. Make sure your glutes are engaged. Gently release, roll your spine back along the mat. Sway your knees from side to side. And we're going to go again, bridge or wheel, lift up. See if you can lift your hips a little bit higher. Keep pressing the feet down. Opening all the way across the front of the body, even through the chest. And release, roll yourself along the mat. Sway your knees from side to side. We're going to take one more back bend today. Bridge or wheel, lift up. Last few breaths, full expression of the pose. And gently roll yourself back along the mat. Take Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet to touch. Let your knees open wide. And reach your arms overhead. Bring your knees together to touch and hug them in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Maybe a little rock side to side. Bring your feet straight up towards the ceiling, maybe hands alongside you or underneath your seat bones. Keeping the head and shoulders relaxed on the mat. We're going to lower our feet down towards the floor by a third. Keep breathing. By another third. Bring your feet 2 inches off the floor. Take a little look at your toes. Give them a wiggle. And then lift your feet all the way back up. We're going to do that again. Lower your feet down by a third. Make sure you're soft through the face in. By another third. Bring your feet 2 inches off the floor. Take a little look at your toes. Give them a little wiggle and then lift them all the way back up. We're going to do it once more. Lower down by a third. Keep breathing. Maybe even bring a little smile to your face. Lower by another third. 2 inches off the floor. Take a look at your toes. Swing them like a pendulum from left to right. For 3. For 2. For 1, lift all the way back up and hug your knees in towards your chest. Grab the underneath of your thighs and take a couple of rock and rolls backwards and forwards. When you've done enough of those, make your way up to seated with your arms stretched out in front of you. Trying to keep your feet and seat bones connected with the floor, moving as slowly as you can. Start to lower down towards the mat. And just before your head touches the floor, at the same speed, we're going to lift back up. We're going to do that 2 more times. Slowly lower down. Finding that spot where you really want to just sink into it and seeing if you can stay with it. This one for me never really gets that much easier. Lift back up. Last one, stay with it. Moving slowly lower down. Lift back up. And release your forehead onto your knees. Just take a couple of deep breaths. We're going to take a vinyasa now. You can choose if you go for a sheep back or you can just step straight into your down dog. If you have a sheep back, go for it. If you want to try one out, I will demo one first. So if you want to try, we're going to take a rock and roll to begin with, but this time cross your ankles, take a rock and roll, place your hands flat to the mat, shoot back and try and land with bent elbows. Give it a go, see what happens. It feels really nice to pause in your up dog, stretching out your core. And when you're ready, meet in a downward facing dog. Step your right foot forwards, warrior one. Inhale, rise up. Open out to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Triangle, reach forwards and down. On your next inhale, lift back up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale to reverse. Windmill the arms to the mat. Either take a vinyasa or straight to your downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards, warrior one. Rise up. Warrior two. Straighten the front leg, triangle, reach forwards and then tilt down. Try not to bring all the weight into that front foot, so you're pressing down with the back foot. You can have your gaze down or up towards your top hand. Inhale, back up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale through a vinyasa or straight to your downward facing dog. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Keeping that back knee lifted if you can. And if you have any compression in your sort of hip area, you can point the right toes out towards the right or walk the foot out a little bit, coming out onto the blade of that right foot. Options to stay on your hands, come down onto your forearms. But keep a little bit of movement here, so maybe backwards and forwards, maybe side to side. Just feeling your way into your hip. If you're on your forearms, lift back onto your hands. And we're going to set up for half pigeon. So walk your right foot towards your left wrist. Drop your right knee down, back leg down. Take a moment here to just set yourself up. So you want to feel nice and secure before you start folding forwards. Try not to lean too much onto one side. And then maybe walk onto your forearms or all the way down onto your forehead. If you have any pain in your knee here, please come to lying on your back and take a thread the needle. And as we start slowing the practice down, trying to keep your focus in the present moment. You find your mind is quite busy at the moment. Maybe try counting your breath. So each inhale, exhale is 1. And see if you can count all the way up to 10. And each time you forget what number you're on or something else has come into your mind, just bring yourself back to number 1 again. Downward facing dog. Take any movement, any shake you might need with that right leg. Take a moment to notice how that right leg is feeling. Is it feeling lighter, heavier, a little bit tingly? And then step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Again, choosing if you keep the stance quite narrow or if you open out. Again, a little bit of compression right in here, so I like to open out a little bit. And then either staying on the hands or coming down onto the forearms. And it feels quite nice to keep a little bit of movement here. Or if you're on your forearms, lifting back up onto your hands, walking your left foot across the mat to set up for your half pigeon. And if your left hip is really high up off the floor, you can use a block if you have one. You can grab a cushion or a blanket just to sort of cushion, support that hip. And when you're ready, either coming down onto your forearms or all the way down onto your forehead. Now, most of us hold a lot of tension in our hips, both physical and emotional. But make sure while we stay and breathe into this stretch that that tension isn't creeping anywhere else in your body. So maybe run your awareness, your attention from the tips of your toes all the way to the crown of your head. Just noticing if there's anywhere you can relax a little bit more. Let go of anything that you don't need to hold on to right now. And each time your mind wanders off to other places, gently bringing it back to the present moment. Removing anything that might be underneath that left hip. Shift your weight onto your left hip and swing your right leg round. We're going to come to a seated position for a straddle. So legs open wide. If, like me, you're particularly tight in the hamstrings or the hips, sitting on a block, even sitting, sort of rolling up your yoga mat, getting a cushion, just lifting the hips a little bit to tilt the pelvis forwards. Flex the toes back towards you. And for some of you, just sitting upright like this will feel like a challenge. Often it does for me as well. If you feel like you want to go further, think about leading with the chest and coming to a forward fold. Some of you might get your forehead all the way down onto the floor. For others of you, this will be quite an intense and uncomfortable pose. And inhale back up to seated. And we're going to take an inversion now. You can choose if you do something restorative, if you have space in a wall near you, you can just bring your seat bones as close to the wall as you can and lift your feet up. That feels really nice, just relaxing. If you would like to take shoulder stand, I'll talk you through it. Obviously, if you have handstand, headstand that you want to work on, please go for that, feel free. If you would like to come to shoulder stand, we're going to start in a plow pose. So on your back, kicking your feet over your head, trying to get your toes on the mat behind you.
Bring your hands to your lower back and find quite a secure position. So I'm putting quite a lot of weight into my hands here, so my forearms are really strong on the mat. And then lifting the feet up. Try not to look around the room once you're in the pose. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, we're just trying to get our feet at the highest point of our body right now. You can stay in stillness, or you can work on any leg movement, variation. If you're in headstand or handstand, make your way to a child's pose. Shoulder standers, so if you're like me, start to bend the knees and bring them down towards the forehead or the ears. If you can, reach the toes back onto the floor behind you. Shoulder standers, maybe use your hands as brakes along the mat and slowly, with as much control as you can, roll yourself out of the pose. And when everyone is ready, no matter what inversion you took, meet lying flat on your back. And we're going to take a fish pose from here. So staying on our backs, we're going to bring our hands underneath our seat bones and really press down with your forearms, so much so that you can lift your chest and the crown of the head touches the floor. If, like me, your hair is kind of in the way, just move it out the way. So you want the crown of the head actually connecting with the mat. I'm going to take 2 rounds of lion's breath here. So that's in through the nose, and then you open the mouth, stick the tongue out, and take a lion's breath. So let's do that together. In through the nose. Let's do that once more. In through the nose. Gently untuck the chin, roll back. And we're going to take a spinal twist. So hugging the right knee in towards the chest. Let it fall over towards the left. Bring the right arm out towards the right and maybe gaze towards the right. If you can, keep both shoulders on the mat here. Come back through center. And we're going to swap sides. So hugging the left knee in, give it a squeeze. And then let it fall over towards the right. Left arm out towards the left. Come back to center. Hug both knees in towards your chest. Bring your forehead up towards your knees and make yourself as small as you can possibly be. Scrunch up your toes, your fingers, your shoulders. Make everything as tense as it can possibly be. Take an inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Let go of the legs, let go of the arms. Let's do that once more. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Forehead towards the knees, scrunch up the toes, the fingers, the shoulders, scrunch up the face. Bring as much tension into the body as you can. Take an inhale through the nose and hold it at the top. Exhale out through the mouth, let go, release. Lying flat on your back for Shavasana, our final resting pose. Palms facing the ceiling, eyes closed. Allow your body to be in complete stillness. Gently start to deepen your breath. Bring some movement to your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms overhead and take a full body stretch. Roll onto your right side. And with as little movement and effort as possible, come up to a seated or a kneeling position with your hands together at heart center and your eyes closed. Take a moment here to think of someone that you are grateful for. Lift your thumb knuckles up to your forehead center. And together we bow forwards and say Namaste. Thank you all very much. Let me know if you have any questions, any feedback. Otherwise, thanks so much for joining me. I've got a few more live sessions coming up over the coming weeks, but I'll be here same time next week if this time works for you. I hope you managed to at least enjoy some of the sun, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I had my lovely mum practicing next to me, trying not to make me laugh throughout. So yeah, let me know anything, any requests, any questions. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful Sunday.